everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to Vault Hunters beginner tutorial type series here. We continue right where we left off here. I basically unloaded all of my inventory, identified the items, the 3 items that I found in the vault, 2 chest plates, and another sword. So we kind of got unlucky with what we found, on top of not being able to complete the first vault. So we missed out on the chest reward that you get at the end, which has a possibility of having gear in it as well. Usually it's guaranteed to have gear in it. Just, sometimes you get the same duplicate items over again, but we'll jump into it here. So of the items that I found, I got a rare chest plate. It's rare because it's yellow. And these, remember, these were blue, so they were all at least common level. So blue is common. So I couldn't roll any of the gray, I don't want to call it garbage tier, but it is like the rusty, or definitely the bottom of the barrel tier swords there. And obviously we had the blue shield that we found first of all. So rare just means this has more affixes on it, so more modifiers. You see at the bottom of the thing there, this has got 4 on it, whereas this common one only has 3. This common one has 3, and this one with the gray only has 2 on it. So, but another thing, the rarity doesn't necessarily make it better, especially determines the number of modifiers that it comes on it. So this one is a chest. It's got 5 base armor, whereas our iron chest plate only has 2 armor. So we're pretty much going to use it no matter what. But we have to compare between these two. So this common one has 4 armor and 2.5 ability power, and this has 5.5 ability power. So just on the base stats alone, the rare is a lot better, but those stats aren't because it was rare. That's just what they rolled within the tolerances that they can roll in. And then, so this one had +1 armor, mana regen, and item quantity as its affixes, or as its modifier rolls. This one has knockback resistance, item rarity, and mana regen again. So between the two, I'd definitely prefer to have the 3% item quantity over the 6% item rarity. But because of the main things in there, the armor and the ability power, this rare one definitely takes the prize home for being the better piece of gear. So, and then this one has basically it's just a slash across with a big shoulder thing on it. And this guy is more like a vest. It's got some big puffy sleeves. If that matters to you at all, you can do transmogrification when you get a little bit further in. Now we have to look at our 2 swords and compare these two. Obviously, we'd probably want to go with the common one because it's probably a little bit better because it has more stuff on it. So this one has soul chance, stun attack chance, and attack range. None of those are super interesting, and with a base value of 9 attack damage and 1.69 attack speed. This one starts with 1.61 attack speed and 9.5 attack damage. So what is better DPS wise? I don't know off the top. Also has increased champion damage, so that actually helped us out against the 2 champions that we fought. And then the fear cloud. I don't know if you ever noticed during some of the fights there, some like purple effects started happening around me during it. So with every attack, there's a chance to spawn that fear cloud, and that happened a couple of times that I noticed, but wasn't anything too special. See if I can't jump into bed here while it's dark outside. So what we can do is we can make the one sword our active item here, and look at our, oh, we'll have to look at the H screen here. So our damage 16.9. That's our average damage per second. So if we switch to the second sword and do that again, 16.9. So it's got, they're kind of balancing each other out. So neither gives a better DPS section. So we're just going to have to choose based on the affixes on it. So soul chance just means there's a higher chance for getting the soul shards. Soul shards we can use in the soul shop a little bit later. And increased champion damage or fear cloud. I think even with this has got a little bit higher attack range as well. So I think I'm going to choose to use the new one that we got. Now let's talk about some of the loot that we found. And I'll try and help you new players out on identifying what you should be keeping while you're in the vault and which ones that you probably don't need to be carrying out of the vaults there. I did remember when I got out that I had the shulker box, which I completely forgot about while I was in there. So there's nothing in here, but what I would typically use the shulker for when I'm in there is putting in the items that take up a whole entire slot by themselves. So these jewels here and those gear pieces that I had are all things that I probably should have, clicked up into the shulker box while I was running around in the vault to keep those slots open a little bit more. So just something I completely forgot about in trying to explain so many different concepts while we were inside there. So you will notice we did get some vanilla items out of the, and I didn't get exactly 19, but I did get a few bottles of enchanting while we were in there. So there's a few vanilla items that we got while we were in the vault. So some netherite scraps, some purple shulker shells, so we could make more shulker boxes if you wanted to have more room for other things. I've got a pretty good filter on now for what I'm looking for, so I don't really need to take 3 and 4 different shulker boxes into the vaults with me anymore. But the other super interesting thing that we got was this guy. This is definitely a mid-game item. It's a Pog. Basically, what is this is it's 9 different unique jewels, which you get from the vault ores when you're inside the vaults. So basically you put 9 of them together and you get this guy, and he's used in quite a few different mid-game crafting recipes. And then also you need multiple of them to start doing some of the end game crafting recipes, but it's kind of like the netherite of the pack, if vault diamonds are the diamonds of the vault loot, right? So we've talked about the Pog, we've talked about all of the vanilla items. Next up, I guess we can talk about some of this currency. So vault gold, bronze, and silver. Basically, this stuff will be used to buy things. Well, it's used for doing some crafting, and it's also used, there's some vendors that you can find inside the vault that you can spend some of this currency on as well. And it's always really good. We can combine these up. So 9 bronze make silver. Then 9 silver will make gold. So we ended up getting 7 gold altogether in that vault. And if you want, you can even put these on the ground and decorate around your base with them. Next up, we'll talk about some of the common crafting ingredients that we got inside the vault. So this silver scrap, this carbon, the magic silk, this driftwood, the vault plating, the magnetite, the vault essence, and then the kind of little bit higher tier up, vault nuggets and regret nuggets. So regret nuggets, basically you put 9 of these together to make a regret chunk, and then the regret chunks go together to make a regret orb, and the regret orbs you use to change around your skill points. So basically it's a partial skill point there for those guys. The vault nuggets go together to make vault ingots, and the vault ingots make some early game crafting items. This is kind of like the iron of the vault loot. If the vault diamonds are the diamonds of the vault loot, these guys are these are a higher tier crafting item than these other guys, but still, yeah, a crafting item. Gemstone, again, this guy is used just in the crafting of jewels, which we'll talk about next. So the jewels, these are items that we can put onto our vault tools, and they add different aspects to it. So these purple ones here add durability, so it'll just give extra durability, and would take up, this one would take up 17 slots, and this one would take 10 slots on the respective tool. And the different tools have a different number of slots that they can have. I think it's 100 on the baseline tools, and then higher level tools have more allowance for items. This chip jewel here gives ornate affinity, which means the tool that it's applied to can insta-mine the ornate chests. So similarly, there is affinity for wooden, which would make it break the wooden chests. So it doesn't insta-mine, but it will break the wooden chests. Then there's obviously the gilded affinity. I forget all the different kinds of chests now. But the coin affinity is one of the bigger ones that you'd be looking for in there, because that allows you to insta-mine the coins, and that makes collecting all those little coin piles so much faster. Like I said, when we were in that first vault there, I didn't want to even waste any time trying to mine the coins without the coin affinity. Empty flasks are used for creating another kind of a regret flask, and this basically will remove specializations of certain skills that you take. So you remember we talked about the different skills. There's the specializations. Well, you'll need those flasks if you want to remove a certain specialization, and you'll need to do the specific craft for the specific specialization that you want to undo. So we've talked about that. Burgers. Burgers are quite interesting, and I'm actually going to exercise my burger eating prowess here. Let me just check. Yeah, burgers are the quest, or the teaching about the burgers doesn't come until way down there, but I'm going to do it here because I wanted to get up to level 4, because I want to get that first point in speed. Basically, 1 bun and 1 patty will make you a hamburger. So we've got enough there to make 5 hamburgers because I was limited on the number of patties that I had. And basically, eating one of these burgers will give us some amount of experience, and it's a flat amount. And it's not going to be enough to get us up to level 4, unfortunately. But that's what those burgers are for, and there are many more other ingredients in there. So the more ingredients you have, the better type of burger you can make, and they will give you correspondingly more and more experience. Just note that if you make a hamburger, you can add just a piece of cheese to it to make a cheeseburger. You don't have to have all 3 to make a cheeseburger. If you already have a burger, you can just add a piece of cheese to it to get the next tier burger, and then so on and so forth down the line, right? If you add 1 tomato, you get the deluxe cheeseburger, or you can make the double cheeseburger. You can't, once you make the double cheeseburger, there's nothing beyond that, but you can add more veggies to your burger to make it better. So lettuce will get you the crispy deluxe. Then you add pickles, you get the salty deluxe. Then you add some mayo, burger sauce, you get the cheeseburger feast, and so on. Actually, that's the top tier one there. That's burgers in an instance. Another interesting one are these relic booster packs. Basically, when you use one of these, you get a chance to gain a relic piece or a tiny, tiny amount of vault experience. So we did not get a relic piece, but we did get a tiny, tiny little bit of vault experience, which you can't even see on the bar how much it gave us. If I had 10 packs, maybe you'd see a little bit of it go up. But basically, that's what those guys are. The vault apple is just another one of the crafting ingredients, basically used to make the different vault apples, or apples that are in the vault mod. Hardy apples, which gives us temporary hearts, sort of like the gold hearts you get from golden apples. But you can also make golden apples with this as well. It takes a lot of gold to make a crapple. Like, this is not the notch apple, this is the lesser version. And then the golden apples even have their own uses for lots of other things inside the vault there as well, inside the vault itself. We can talk about knowledge essence next. Knowledge essence is the crafting ingredient to make the knowledge stars. So 9 of these will give you the knowledge shard, and then 8 of those, along with a knowledge core, gets you the knowledge star. So this is what we need to do to start unlocking the mods in the pack. And even different mods require different numbers of knowledge stars. Like if you wanted to unlock mechanism, for example, you need like 10 or 15 knowledge just to unlock that mod in itself. The knowledge core is 8 diamonds around some extraordinary beniotite, which itself is 4 perfect beniotite, which itself is 4 beniotite gems. So basically you need 16 of these gems to make one of those cores, and then surrounded with 8 vault diamonds gets you the knowledge core, surrounded by 8 shards gets you the knowledge star. The next one, the bounty pearl. This is an item that you can use to re-roll bounties in the bounty table. We'll talk about that in just 2 seconds here. Then the last one are the sweet kiwis. This is one of the only items that I suggest that you take into the vault with you. Basically, if you're running low on time and you just need a couple extra seconds to finish what you're doing, to get to the exit to grab the last piece of little bit of elixir that you need to complete the vault, you can use one of these. The cost is it removes your maximum health. So, and that's only for that vault that you're in. It doesn't affect you outside of the vaults or in the next vault that you go into when you're eating this vault food. So different tiers of vault foods give you more and more different amounts of time as well while you're inside the vault. So I'm actually going to put my kiwi inside my backpack, which actually I don't even think I emptied my backpack yet, did I? I did. Okay, good. I was wondering about that. And then the final 2 items to talk about, these are the least important things. These are the things you saw me throwing away when I was inside the vault, because these are pretty much strictly just decorative items. If we take a look at the uses on this, it really only has one use, and that's to make a sandy block. Sandy block, the only uses it has, can go back down to sandy rocks, or you can make other decorative type items out of it. So if you're looking, if you like the texture and the look of these blocks, absolutely, maybe you want to start collecting them, but they absolutely aren't necessary at all. So again, these Vault Suites combine up to make this Suites block, and this actually has a little bit of use because you can put it in the nutritional or gourmand dynamos, but you can't actually eat these either. So basically just decorative, no real use, and things that I typically yeet into the void. All right, now that we've gone over the loot, I hoped that helped you determine what we need, but all of this stuff is pretty usable. These jewels here aren't very good right now at the beginning, but maybe they'll be better later. We'll see. But I wanted to continue on with the quest book and sort of make our way through there. So we wanted to craft this bounty table, and that's going to give us 10 more bounty pearls, and we're going to be able to look for a decent bounty. So the bounty table is crafted with a loom, 2 vault essence, and then 5 of chromatic iron ingots. So we need 5 of those guys. We'll need 2 planks and 2 string to make a loom, and I forgot the vault essence, so this is a basic crafting ingredient. And now we can make a bounty table. I always put my bounty table down next to my vault portal, because this is a reminder to make sure that I have an active bounty whenever I go into a vault. So this gives us a choice of 3 different bounties, which is basically just completing different objectives, mostly inside the vault, but some things can be completed outside of the vault, like these item submission bounties. Basically, if I had 21 diamonds, I could surrender it into the bounty table. It will give me an elytra, an unidentified wand, 47 bottles of enchanting, and some vault leggings. It's too bad that I didn't spend more time mining up the diamonds in that one room, because those 6 that I got in that room were the only ones that I have, so I can't actually do that one now, but I could probably go maybe mining down in the mine shafts and get some diamonds that way, because having an elytra without going to the end is going to be pretty big. But I'm gonna hope I find another diamond room in the next vault that we go into. This one, kill assassin mobs. So if we click on that, we can see which types of creatures are counted as assassin mobs. You're not going to recognize some of these, because some of these only appear in certain vault themes, like the snapping turtles, the gummy soldiers, the coconut crabs. But skeletons, polar bears, the slimes would count as assassins, spiders. So there's quite a few different things that would count as assassin mobs if we wanted to do that one. And then the other one is this item submission, which is submit 4 ancient debris at the bounty table. These rewards are really, really low, especially for going and finding something as painful as finding ancient debris in the Nether is. So this is going to be the first choice of quest that I'm going to re-roll. So we're going to re-roll that, and it's going to give me a quest of killing dweller mobs. So the rewards here aren't too great either, but the dweller mobs might be something. So that's these type of mobs that we'll find. These are pretty common in all of the vaults. You'll find them in all of the different vault themes. So this is going to be the one that that's going to be the one that I activate when I go into the next vault. So I can re-roll this quest here. Nope, the assassin mobs one. Oh, this one gives me rare plus pants and a helmet. And Beniatite is a little bit more important than the Larimar in this quest, so I think I'd do the assassin one. So, but for now, I'm just not going to re-roll anymore because I don't really need to. But I am going to activate this assassin one because it's got the better rewards. So that'll activate there. You can only have one active bounty at a time, and you can abandon if you really don't think, or if you activate one that you don't want to do or don't think that you can do very quickly, and then activate a different one. Just note that there is a cooldown timer on all of the bounties. So this slot won't refill for 1 hour after completion or abandonment of this active quest. So I'm going to put my kiwi in there. And we are going to move on. So we have to complete a bounty to get the next quest reward done. So I guess I'm going into another vault. I've already done a vault completely with you guys, and there's not going to be anything new or special in the next one, but I will tune you in if I do find any interesting rooms in there, but I don't anticipate on finding any of them. And then we've got this queued up and ready to go, so we'll just pop it off, and we'll see now that we've created that vault crystal. It's a level 3 crystal because I am level 3. So I'm going to go back in here. We're going to grab one of those and 4 of those. As a habit, I always queue up my next crystal before going into a vault, because I might get something on this table that I don't have here that I might be able to find in the vault. Sort of like, say, that brewing stand. Not that a brewing stand is going to show up here, but you know, for example, we might find some decorative type blocks or a leaf blocks or something that we can come across in the vault that I'd be able to pick up to be able to come back and finish off the next quest. This one looks pretty mundane. Most of the early game crystals are very mundane, not much to worry about them there. And we can see on here there is that one charcoal or coal. So because it's rotating between the two, it will accept either item. So I can submit 1 charcoal or 1 coal, and it will satisfy the completion of that item there. All right, so I'm jumping into this next vault, and if I find anything interesting, I'll bring you back and we'll talk about it for a second. Otherwise, I'll see you back here, hopefully completing the vault this time. But I want to focus on getting that vault complete so that we can get the completion crate, as well as completing this bounty that I've got here. And then I also believe there's a keybind for it. Let me just put on a quick pause here, and I'll bring you back in a second to show you that. All right, so if I press the tab, I can see the bounty on the left-hand side of the screen there. So kill skeletons, or polar bears, or crabs, slimes, spiders, strays, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm looking to do. I need to get 8 of them. And so hopefully we both complete this bounty, which would be worth 830 vault experience in itself, as well as getting these rewards. So 2 gear pieces would be great, especially because we're not really guaranteed any gear pieces inside the vault, and I really do need to get some better than iron gear so that I don't have to run away from special rooms like that village room we found in that first episode. And yeah, and so on and so forth. So I'm jumping in here. You all hang tight. And what will only take you guys a quick second will be a hot minute for me. We'll see you in a bit. Yes, my pause and start unpause recording button happens to coincide with a mark block button. But this is an X marks the spot room. This is another either very rewarding or very dangerous room. And because of my gear position, I'm not even going to try it because the consequence for it being the danger room is way too steep, and I can barely run away from the mobs. I don't even have speed yet, so I'm not even going to try. But basically you dig down right on the very middle of the X there. You will drop down into like a holding room. You wait 3 or 5 seconds or so, and then the doors will open, and there will either be a ton of mobs spawn, both downstairs in the loot area and upstairs here as well. Or it will open up and it will be a treasure room, and there will be a whole bunch of different chests in there, usually ornate if I remember correctly. But like I said, I'm not taking my chances right now because I don't want to fail this vault. I want to get one completed here. So unfortunately, this is a big fat no on this. Vault, unless I get super lucky in here, but then there's no there's no lodestone in this room because it's a special room, so I don't even think I can try going down here. I was gonna come down here and just kind of illustrate this room for everybody, but I don't even think I can. Is this the way out? It is the way out. I'm gonna try it. If I die, it's not a big deal because I do have the beginner's grace, right? For some air, because I don't have a proper tool for digging through all this sand. You come down here, you land on here, 2 or 3 seconds later. And this one did turn out to be a danger room. The wrong way because I needed to go west. Oh great, there's a big slime there too. Alright, well that's the danger of going into the danger room. The only thing that I lost there was all of my vault experience. So we'll come back out here, we'll keep all of the stuff we found in the vault, but we won't get any experience at all. So I'm still stuck at level 3. We can go over what I did find. So red concrete powder we don't need, sand, smooth sandstone, So some of this is the decorative blocks, right? So we can throw those. Well, it even says decorative right on it. So you can just hover over it to find out delicious. Not needed. This is my new building block, the sandy blocks. Decorative. So I did find a helmet. 3 more jewels, living affinity, gilded affinity, and an ooh, that's a really nice gem right there. It's a little bit on the big size with the 27 size, but it's got durability, ornate affinity, vanilla immortality, and item quantity. And then a helmet, which we can do that for. The one thing that I did manage to do, though, was complete my bounty. So I've managed to kill 8 of the assassin mobs. And so here we can see 2 hours is the cooldown on getting the new bounty without any modifiers. So what we get for completing the bounty comes in this crate, which you do have to put down. And then you have to shift and right click on it to open up the items that are inside of it there. So we have the Beniatite, the Chromatic Iron, the helmet, and the pants. So we have 2 helmets to roll and pants. So we'll be able to upgrade 2 of our items here just from finishing that quest. So that's not too bad in itself. And just the non-completion of the vault being the big thing. A little bit of a letdown, but at the end of the day, I only have myself to blame for trying to do that, that X marks the spot room. So we'll roll up the gear, we'll talk our way through which of these 2 helmets we're going to choose between. So one was a common and one is a garbage, is what I call them. This one has 5 armor, 5.5 ability powder, knockback resist, and item rarity. This one has 5 armor, 4.5 ability power, so a little bit less ability power, but it's got 2 extra armor because of the modifier, 2 extra health, that's going to be an extra heart, a full extra heart, and 3% item quantity, which, as I explained earlier, I prefer item quantity over item rarity, especially in the early game. Mid to late game, it might change around a little bit, but that's that there. And then the legs, obviously, 2 more health, plus 1 armor. So these are really good legs to get there. So all of a sudden, we are now up to 21 on our armor scale, whereas before we were sitting at 6, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because, oh, there are 2 each, so 8. That's why I had 4 coats before. But now I've got the full 8 plus an extra, so we're at 21 armor total in there. So that's really good. I found a lot of the other normal loot that we talked about already. I did find an ore point of interest, so I managed to get 8 Beniotite and a Scallium and 2 Larimar out of that one. In one of the chests I found a wooden chest scroll. You can use these along with some driftwood planks, which is just 4 of the driftwood put together, to make one of the chests with the skin of the wooden chest on it. So that's kind of good there. The best thing about these is they've got 128 soul value, so you can trade it in basically for 128 soul gems, soul shards. Usually that's what I use them for, but if you want it for decoration around the base, it does have that use to it. We didn't talk about these guys because I didn't get to the tool station yet, but that will be in the next episode. More Vault Cobble, which is in here. I keep all of this spare gear around because we can break it down for extra items later. Items scrap, whatever you call it. Anything else? Yeah, we got some more of these relic booster packs. Vault meat. I keep my sweet kiwis with me just in case I need them inside the vault. Those are the 4 I came in with me. 2 more burgers. Actually, that might, just because of the experience I got from completing the bounty, 2 burgers just might get us to where we want to be. I'm going to take those out of there. That can go there. That can go there. So, nope. No luck on the relic. And there we go. We leveled up to level 4. I can go in here and grab my speed perk, which is the one thing that I wanted to get. Because as you saw in the other episode there, the big long hallways between the rooms in the vaults, you pretty much spend half or even more than half of your time just moving around in the vault. Until you get your speed up there, that's going to be the biggest suction of all of your time while you're in there. And I guess now that we've done that, we've completed that bounty, we get a bunch more chromatic iron, and we can make this tool station. And we can talk about the tools. Actually, we'll do that in the next episode. This one's gone on quite long already again. But I will queue it up here. It's pretty simple to make. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about the different tools that you can make. And then we can also talk about the gems, the jewels that we put on those tools as well. So I appreciate you all for checking out the episode, and we will see you in the next one.